What's going on, everybody? Cigar Show Tim here, and yes, it is a second video for today. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm recording this technically the day before, but happy St. Patrick's Day, and why not do what a whole bunch of other people are probably going to be doing too, and that's releasing a video about a cigar and St. Patrick's Day and Candela green tobacco. So, let's just get right to it. For this tobacco talk review, I am going to be going over and experiencing the Jake Wyatt Lucid Interval in Bellicoso. This is a 6x52. You can see the fun little lines on the foot of the cigar, and then the Bellicoso point up here, and some stripes there as well. So, we'll get into the blend, all that fun stuff, but if we're going to do it, there's only one thing left to do. Let's light it up. Alright, I went with a straight cut, but at a slant. I do that with all of my torpedoes, bellicosos, all of that, for a nice, good amount of air coming through when you take a draw on the cigar. So the cold draw on the cigar, it's got candela in it, so that, hey, grassy chlorophyll note is absolutely there. I did not say chloroform, chlorophyll. I have heard people before say, oh yeah, I can taste the chloroform in it. No, you'd be passed out. But anyways, I digress. So, on the cold draw, pretty typical grassiness, hay, more pronounced grassiness than hay, and then there's a little bit of a lighter wood note that is in it as well. So let's go ahead and get this toasted up and see what it is like. Okay, upon initial light up, quite a bit of cedar wood is coming through. Not much grassiness really is coming through at all. It's mostly a really pronounced, like, just medium cedar woodiness that's in there. There's a little bit of like a barnyard hay kind of flavor note that's in there as well. But that's pretty much all that I'm picking up on it. I'm going to jump into the first third. When I come back, I will let you know the blend on the cigar, any other information, and let you know, of course, how it's going so far. All right, let me show you the burn here at the end of the first third. It has not wanted to cooperate. I have corrected it a couple times. I even adjusted the cut from being tapered to being straight to see if it was the draw on the cigar, and unfortunately, this little guy does not want to cooperate too well. But let's get into the flavor notes and the blend on it, because it's not ruining the experience. Yeah, the burn's uneven, but it's not taken away from, you know, the overall flavor profile or different things like that. So, in the first third, I picked up a decent amount of that cedar woodiness, and like a nice medium woodiness is in there. And then about halfway through, some light cream started to come in, which was really smooth, like a silky creaminess, was really, really nice. And then there's just a little hint of that sort of grassy chlorophyll note that was in there upon the cold draw and everything like that at the beginning. So let's talk about the blend on this, though. The blend on this is a Candela wrapper, which you should have known already because I basically told you that. But it's a Candela wrapper, and then it has Dominican binders and fillers. So everything underneath is from the Dominican Republic, and the wrapper on it is obviously a Candela wrapper. So that's the blend on it. That's what's like going on in the first third. I'm really hoping it starts to burn a little bit better, and the draw has no problems with it whatsoever. But I'm really hoping that the burn will correct itself and stay corrected. It doesn't feel like there's really any problems with the pack on it, so kind of curious as to why it continues to do that. Maybe it's just the way that this one was rolled, unfortunately, and maybe it's just, you know, a little bit off. That does happen. They are a premium hand-rolled product. So I'm going to jump to the second third. When I come back, I'll give you more information on this. I'll let you know about the flavor profile, any changes, and let you know, well, if the burn, you know, straightens itself out or not. Oh, and the strength on this right now, I'd say, is probably a mild plus. Not crazy strong. It'll probably ramp up a little bit, and actually, as a long finish right now, there's a little bit of a white pepper on the tip of my tongue. So there you go. Here's to the second third. All right, let me show you the burn here at the end of the second third. You can see that it is, bloop, just uneven right there. I did actually let the cigar sit and cool off. It didn't go out, but I let it sit and cool off, tapped off the ash, and relit it. And it started even, and then it just got a little bit uneven again. So unfortunately, not having the best luck with the burn on this one. Let's get into the flavor profile of this, because it's really, really unique, and it's a flavor note that's in this second third that I haven't picked up, from what I can remember, I haven't picked up this flavor note in a cigar before. But the creaminess is absolutely still there. The medium cedar is still there. That's actually the most prominent flavor note that's in there. Any of the grassy, chlorophyll, any of those, all of that hay grassiness is completely gone. There is still a little bit of that white pepper note on the tip of my tongue, and it's getting towards the roof of my mouth, but it's not much there at all. But the flavor note that was really interesting, and I'll preface it this way. I am not a big tea drinker. I'm not a fan of tea at all. If you offer me an iced tea, I'm going to pass. I'm going to say, can I just have water? I just don't care for iced tea. Never have. To me, it tastes just honestly like dirt. And so when I'm sick, there are two different types of tea that I drink, though, for its health benefits, its nutrients, medicinal effects, things like that. And one of them is a mint tea. So not minty, but a tea that is, made of peppermint. And there is a noticeable sort of mint tea kind of note in this second third that at first I sat back and I went, what in the world am I tasting? And I took another draw, did a retrohale, and I just went, it tastes like mint tea. So really unique, really interesting. I've picked up mint before, but there's sort of an herbal tea kind of complement note with it. And I'm not a huge fan of tea, like I said, but this is one of the two teas that I can palate. So I'm actually not bothered by this at all. So yeah, that's what it's like, flavor profile in the second third. To give you an idea of this specific cigar, you can go to Jake Wyatt's website. You can look it up. There are 7 different vitolas that this cigar is offered. And yes, you heard me correct. 7 different ones. And I'm going to read them directly from Jake Wyatt's website. So there is a Corona, which is a 5.5 by 44, and they come in boxes of 22. There's a Robusto 5 by 50, boxes of 22. There is a Toro 6 by 54, so a little bit larger ring gauge than a traditional Toro. Boxes of 22. This Bellicoso 6 by 52, which is a box of 22. The Gordo, so 6 by 60, traditional Gordo size. Another, again, box of 22. Lanceros, which I'm curious about, especially with the ratio of tobacco. I'm really curious about that one. It's a 7 by 38, boxes of 22s, and the only one that doesn't come as a box of 22, it comes as a box of 10, is a limited edition Figurado, and that's a 7 by 49 64ths. You heard that correctly. It's a 7 by 49 64ths. So remember, in ring gauge, 64 64ths is an inch. So there are 64 little bitty ring gauges to get to an inch. And so that is 49, a ring gauge of 49. So 49 64ths. So a really unique way of writing out a Lancero, or I'm sorry, of a Figurado. But that's what it is. So those are the 7 different vitolas that it's offered in. The one that I have here, again, like I said at the beginning, is the Bellicoso. It's a 6 by 52. So that's what it's like in the second third. I'm going to go through and finish this up. I'm going to say that the strength on this is probably touching into medium now. Not very strong at all. I would say it's probably a medium body, medium to light body. It's not that it doesn't have a flavor profile. It doesn't last super long, and it's not very deep and rich in its flavor profile. Not knocking it, not saying it's a bad thing, but it's on the lighter end, just plain and simple. So I'm going to jump into the final third. When I come back, I'll let you know any changes to the flavor profile. Hopefully the burn is doing better at the end, and as I'm sitting here, it actually looks like, let me show you real quick, it is starting to, on its own, burn through and correct the unevenness. So here's to hoping the burn ends up good at the end of the cigar, but I'm going to finish up the final third. We'll see how it goes. Let me show you the burn here at the end of the cigar. And we have done it. Ladies and gentlemen, it got straight. And you can see there isn't a dark area where I touched it up or it got burnt again or anything like that at all. So the burn did finally straighten itself out from when I showed you guys just a second ago how it was starting to correct itself. It did it all the rest of the way. So that was very nice. Okay, flavor profile in the final third. So that creaminess is absolutely still there. The medium cedar wood is still there. That tea note did come up a pretty good amount for me, and it just wasn't what I was hoping for. I was really hoping that the creaminess and the woodiness would stay and that the tea would sort of go down, and it didn't. The opposite happened. And so the final third of this one, unfortunately, just disappointed me. It wasn't my palate. Doesn't mean that it's a bad cigar. It just means it wasn't my palate. And there was a decent amount, not an overpowering amount of that sort of grassy hay note, that chlorophyll coming back in that final third, and that mixed with the tea just didn't do it for me. It was like grass clippings and a lot of tea for me, and it just wasn't for my palate. So as you could probably guess, is it nub-worthy or not? For me, this is not a nub-worthy cigar. And it doesn't mean that what Jake Wyatt makes is bad or that this is a bad cigar. It means that it's not my palate. It may be yours. If you like Candela and you like that grassy note and you're a tea drinker, this is the perfect cigar for you. If you like the more mild to medium-bodied cigars, strength on this, I would say, stayed at a solid medium. And the final third, the pepper note is still on the tip of my tongue. It's a little bit more of a black pepper now. It's not crazy amount, but there's a little bit more of a black pepper compared to a white pepper that's there as well as this cigar wraps up. If you have had this Lucid Interval from Jake Wyatt Cigars, put some comments down below. Let me know what you think of it. If you are a Candela fan, maybe this is the one that you need to go and check out because you like that grassy note, you like all of that. And like I said, if you're a tea drinker, this is probably a great cigar for you to enjoy. It's not strong, it's not overpowering, it's not super full-bodied. It's a really nice, mild, medium cigar, but the flavors just weren't there for me. So put some comments down below what's your take on it, and let me know in the comments as well if you're smoking something for St. Patrick's Day today. In 2024, let me know what it is you're smoking, or what did you smoke if you're watching this after St. Patrick's Day. But no matter what you're doing, I truly do hope that you would sit back, relax, and, well, enjoy your cigar journey, everybody. I'm Cigar Show Tim. As always, I'll see you.